I am sick of seasons. Now, I haven't had a good little rant on this channel for a while. I actually had a different video planned for today. It was more about Forza Street. I imagine if it was actually a full game. But I've actually gone into my Discord, and we just had a little conversation about seasonal events and seasonal rewards, and I've just got a lot to say. It's something that I wasn't even annoyed about until like about 5 minutes ago, and now I've given it some thought, and it's just something that I want to talk about. This doesn't only apply to Forza, so before you get into this video and watch the rest of this, this does not only just apply to Forza, this applies to the crew, this applies to, you know, even though they get like COD, like this applies to the whole industry. And there's just a few things I want to say because I feel like everything's a little bit broken right now. Not as bad as it's been previously, but I do think there's definitely a few things which AAA games shouldn't be doing anymore. And a lot of people have taken a lot of inspiration from Fortnite, weirdly enough, but that's a free game. Forza, COD, The Crew, these games that I'm mentioning, they aren't free games. They are $60 AAA titles. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into this. So as we are already aware, the games in question that I've already named, we're going to focus on the racing games today, obviously, because we're a racing channel, have been doing this kind of exclusivity seasonal thing, which I overall have really enjoyed. I love the content it brings. I love the fact it keeps the game fresh, and I love the fact that whenever I come back to Forza, for example, there's always something to work towards. Same with the crew with the summit. I love the fact there's a summit in the game. Admittedly, I haven't touched it as much since the first few weeks of it coming out, but it's there. There's always stuff to do in the game. I can't complain about Endgame now because it's got loads of it in terms of the summit. And obviously, with these events comes seasonal rewards. So I'm going to use Forza as an example for this, but this also applies to the crew as well, and I'll talk about that a bit later. So for example, with Forza, I missed out on the M3 GTR, a car that I really want. I think it was on the first week of the seasonal events or something across those lines. It was when they first brought the festival playlist into the game. Now, I missed that car, but I've put over like at least 40-50 days into this game now. The only way I can get this car is if I get lucky and find one on the storefront, which there is none of at the recording of this video, wait for it to come into the Forzathon shop, or get lucky in wheel spins. Why on earth in a £60 game can I not just work towards the car? Now, I'm not saying that this car should just go into the store where you can buy it and purchase it. That's not what I'm saying. This car should still be hard to find, but the mere fact I can only find it in what is an MTX system, regardless if I have to pay, you know, real money or not. Like, obviously in Forza's case, that is not the case. You get wheel spins through in-game progression, etc, etc. That is completely fine. But what isn't okay is the fact that I can't unlock this car after paying £60 for this game. Now, the reason why I'm moaning about this and why I think it's important, Okay, I get the idea of supporting the players that play long term. I get the idea of if you got the M3 GTR, well then you were there at the start. So if someone has the M3 GTR, you know they were grinding at the start of the festival playlist. But I just think that's a bit irrelevant in a £60 game. This system has been taken from Fortnite, and the difference with Fortnite is it's a free game and they're cosmetics only. The M3 GTR is not a cosmetic only, it's a car. Now, the way I think this should be done, and I think the way that all of this should be done, whether this is, you know, COD, whether this is, you know, Battlefield, whether this is Forza, is I think there should be in-game objectives. A game which did this really well was Burnout Paradise. Ahead of its time, it did it fantastically. There was burning routes in that game. So burning routes were basically where you took, say, a stock car, and then you basically got an upgraded version after that. Forza could really benefit from this system. So say, for example, I want the M3 GTR. Having an objective where maybe I have to take a normal M3 that's available in-game currently and then complete 100 PvP races for me then to unlock the M3 GTR, which is the upgrading version. I don't see why that's not a thing. I haven't got a problem with grinding. I think I want to make that abundantly clear. I've not got a problem with grinding. I have grinded on Forza 4 cars before, but I think the whole MTX system with wheel spins, it doesn't, even though there's no money, real life money involved, it's still not good enough. Now, if Forza was a free game, and if Forza was, you know, it was like Fortnite, it was a free game and it was cosmetics only, I would not have a problem with this. But this is a paid game. You know, how, like, you can never guarantee that you're going to get the M3 GTR unless you get really lucky. If you're a betting man and if you're a betting person, you can't bet on this. Like, there's a less than a 20% chance that you're going to get there's a less than a 5% chance you're going to get an M3 GTR in a wheel spin with all of the cosmetic bullshit which is in the game, like white t-shirts. And that's what annoys me. I guess. That's what annoys me, is I really like Forza Speed. Well, I'm talking about Forza in this, but obviously this goes for, say, the crew as well. The Red Evo Fury thing that they had for the first week of the summit, or the second week of the summit. I played that, grinded that so hard, and I have that car. But I feel so sorry for the people that haven't or didn't have the chance to play the game at that time. Maybe they were on holiday. Maybe they didn't even own the game. I feel so sorry for those people that have bought the game late and then don't have a chance to get this car that they may really like because it's locked behind bullshit seasonal rewards. This shouldn't be locked behind anything. To get the Red Edition Fury, you know what you should have to do? You should have to do like 1,000 races in the normal Evo, and then you get gifted it. Now, obviously that's a lot, and I'm over-exaggerating a bit, but I'm saying there should be some alternate way to get these cars that are locked behind MTX. It's a problem. I don't know why it hasn't been solved yet. I really, really, really hope I'm not the only one that is annoyed by this. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, they'll eventually add it into Forzathon shop, or, oh, eventually they'll do this or that. But I just don't think that's good enough. In the end of the day, we've paid, you know, some have paid upwards of £100 for this game. I'm in a fortunate position where I've got given Forza and the crew because I've worked closely with those companies. But I know not everyone has that same option, and that's what makes me really annoyed. And I'm not saying what I just said for any particular reason. I'm just saying that it makes me really sad to think people have paid, what, £100 for the Ultimate Edition of Horizon 4, and now they can't unlock content which they've paid for. There's no reason why you can't work towards everything which is on that disc. I've always had this opinion. I've had this opinion since Horizon 2 when they were putting on-disc DLC onto that game, and I still share the same opinion. I just don't think it's fair. And for me specifically anyway, I've got most of the cars from Forzathon rewards. You know, I've got duplicates of Hoonigan RS200s, and I've got duplicates of so many cars that I can sell on the auction house for so much money. But it just pisses me off because the one car I actually want, being the M3 GTR, I can't get it. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. I hope and I beg and I plead that Need for Speed doesn't have a similar thing. I just beg to God, and knowing EA, they probably will. Knowing EA and seeing their background and seeing where they've come from, I am an EA game changer, and I'm still gonna say this regardless of what happens. If they do this, it's going to break me. Obviously, this is pure speculation, but if they do something like this, having seen how it's been done in Horizon, having seen how it's done in the crew, it's just going to break me, because I know there's going to be that 1 week where I'm working a real life job and I don't have enough time to spend playing Need for Speed and I miss out on a car. Same goes with Horizon. If this happens again with Horizon, which it obviously inevitably will, because it's a system which is in place, and I'm working for a week or I'm on holiday, next week I'm going to Portugal. If there's a car next week for Forzathon that I actually want and I can't get it, that is going to make me absolutely livid. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I hope that someone from one of these studios sees me as more just being than an annoying guy that is just moaning on the internet. I really hope people see the validity behind what I'm saying, because this is a big problem. It's not only just Forza, it's not only just the crew, it's a game-wide problem. COD is the worst for it. It's the reason why I don't play COD games anymore, or Black Ops 4 specifically, I should say. Yeah, I know Battlefield is even worse with this. They have cosmetics only, which you can only buy with a premium currency in a £60 game. That's mad to me. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling and being an annoying nerd. Let me know if you agree. I've probably put a card somewhere up here with a poll of what you guys think about this. Do you guys think that, you know, we should get this, or am I just speaking absolute bollocks? If you haven't already voted on it, it's up there to vote for. I can imagine it's probably going to be pretty unanimous, because if it isn't, then I don't know, there's something wrong with the people that watch my videos. But if you made it to the end of this video, you are like in the 20-30% of people that usually make it to the end. So give yourself a pat on the back. Make sure to go ahead and like and comment. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to be reading through the comments as I always do, and hopefully, you know, if you guys might have a better implementation of how you would go around this. I gave the idea of doing a burning route objective style kind of thing to work towards, grind to work towards, say, for example, with the M3 GTR, working for it through the normal M3. I think that would be really cool. But you guys might have a better idea, so let me know down in the comment section down below. That's been it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe, and peace.